Hey guys, thanks for checking out the channel. Tobin here with ya. Much appreciated. I just had a rough drive back from the arena, being boots on the ground. Old flat tire on the way home, which is, man, it's always scary changing a tire on the highway at night. You know, not in an area where there's not like a lot of overpass or any place to go. You know, there's not like a lot of signage to go on, so like I'm exiting out the passenger door to go change it, and it's not fun. It's never fun. A little bit scary, but anyway, enough about me. We are back here, and the Miami Heat did get a win tonight over the Indiana Pacers. Always like beating that team. I like just giving a little side eye over to that radio voice of the Indiana Pacers. Oh, these losers didn't even deserve it, damn Gene. They like to whine a lot, the Indiana Pacers, quite frankly. They do. And it was a good performance from your two stars tonight. It was a thin Heat roster for sure. Basically got nothing from the bench tonight. Max Strus was in foul trouble. You're playing with Orlando Robinson for the time being, and it was pretty much the starters or bust tonight to get everything done. But the big stars, the big dogs did come through in a huge way, especially Bam Adebayo, who put up a season-high 38 points tonight. He was absolutely masterful. And, it's always funny. You look at a matchup against a guy like Miles Turner, who's one of the best shot blockers in the league. Such a fascinating player, a lot like Brook Lopez in that, like, he lives inside the rim on defense and is going to try and deter you there. But, he's basically a three-point shooter, and that's about it when it comes to guarding him. And so you have this dynamic of Bam Adebayo, who is almost the inverse of that, where it's like he's going to have the big man who's always going to be out there, but, I don't know if he's ever going to be that go-to guy. And then when it comes to offense tonight, Bam Adebayo was just putting jumper after jumper in Miles Turner's face. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing to see. And, both him and Jimmy just kind of had their moments. It's a fascinating thing to see with them this year, because this hasn't been the most, I think everybody could agree, the most aesthetically pleasing Heat season. But Jimmy and Bam are as good at what they do as anybody in the league. Even Jimmy was talking about today that, as far as two, I think we could twos anybody to death. Like we could out twos anybody.
I say we can out two anybody in the league. Sooner or later, we're gonna start taking more threes and making more threes. But I think if we're going to the battle of the twos, we gotta be top in the league at mid-range jump shots and layups. And free throws.
But you think about the idea that they've gone from they're both very unselfish guys. They're fascinating. It's a fascinating star tandem to have. They both like getting their teammates involved. They both kind of like perusing the temperature of the game. Hell, Bam is out here, dribble handoffs, setting screens, getting all his shooters open. Was basically, as Riley said, the shooters owe him half their check for everything he did for them. And now he's in this zone right now of comfort where his jump shot, everything is fallen. His ability to get to the free throw line is absolutely masterful, and things that are going to translate to the postseason. And yeah, Spo talked a little bit about this element that he's got to, bring back the facilitating aspect of it, and that even Bam was saying that's the coaching staff argues over that mid-range shot that he has. But I think the beauty of it is that he's got the confidence in any kind of offensive shot. And I get it. This is like one of the, efficient teams that was like at the rim or three-pointers. They were on the cusp a lot of that. But, when you're talking about a guy like Bam, I think a lot of this is a mentality thing. And you see that he is something and a weapon that he's really, really confident in, that he can go to. And both of your stars are not necessarily great at the three-point shot, but Jimmy's one of the best at getting to the rim and getting to the free throw line. He was abusing the Pacers in the third quarter today. Was hitting them with "you can't guard me." Something about the Pacers, man. It just brings out. It's like that sneaky, annoying cousin that you you're always dreading at seeing at the family reunion or something like that. Like, you don't really respect them, but man, they get under your skin. That is the Indiana Pacers relationship with the Miami Heat. And, once again, a game that really you couldn't put away. You got out to a 16-point lead early. They came back, took the lead. You got out to like a 12-point lead. They brought it back, and they drag it all the way down to the finish line until you could finally get there. But along the way, Bam got to hit some free throws to get his season high up there at 38 points. So really a nice performance by your two top guys and a needed win off of a trash road trip. Miami's now won 7 straight at home, so they've found a real comfort there. But yeah, tonight the bench was Haywood Highsmith, gave you 4 points in 28 and 25 minutes. Obviously, he's there mostly for his defense. Orlando Robinson, he's there to give Bam a breather. And Max Strus played 17 minutes. He was in foul trouble basically the entire game. So Tyler Hero played 40. Bam played 37. Jimmy played 35. That was your lineup tonight. You had no Victor Oladipo. He's still hurt with the ankle injury. Duncan Robinson remains sidelined. And then the other thing is Kyle Lowry. That is the big topic. That is the big thing that is hanging over everything going into the trade deadline, which by the time you guys are listening to this, it's hours away at 3 p.m.-ish or so. And Jimmy Butler was asked about this by Ira Winderman after the game. And if you guys didn't hear the exchange, it was a fascinating one. And this is what Jimmy had to say on the whole matter.
Jimmy, this is a sport about competition, but also about friendship. What Kyle's going through right now, you know what it's like the night before trading deadline and all the rumors. As a friend to Kyle, as someone who's the godfather of your daughter, what's it like for you and being around Kyle in this emotional state until we get to 3 p.m. tomorrow?
Tell Kyle you got to control what you can control. That's my guy, and I love him to death. I don't know what's going to happen, but, I love Kyle as an NBA player. As a human being, I want to play with Kyle, but so much is out of my control. And just like so much is out of his control, he could be my guy forever. I want him to be my teammate forever. And whatever happens, happens, but that's still going to be my dog. He ain't going nowhere.
Last question.
So, yeah, like Jimmy gives this whole explanation. He's like, I don't know what's going to happen. It's very much in the leaning of, wow, man, Jimmy seems like if he moves on, he moves on. And then at the end, he's just got that sly, trolling Jimmy Butler smile, and he goes, he ain't going nowhere. So does he know or not know? I don't know. Is Jimmy Butler pulling is he just Here's the thing with Jimmy. One, you never know if he's trolling or not. You never know if he is just messing with everybody. He starts off the media session, and he goes, I don't want to be up here. You know that. And he always is like, he's always got that kind of tongue-in-cheek attitude, especially after a win. And that look of doesn't want to say that I don't want them to trade him because he's a good friend, or is okay with them moving on from him because it's just not the fit that everybody thought it was going to be when Jimmy and Kyle probably talked about playing with one another. And I think that's the thing that's really come out of all of this is I do think that obviously, Kyle went through some tough stuff last year, and everybody kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt because he's always been looked upon as a professional. People always take the shots at the weight. Everybody who doesn't make a Kyle Lowry ass joke every now and then? Guilty. But, he was dealing with a lot last year personally. That took him away from the team. It's just been, and then in the playoffs, he just wasn't the same guy. Never got to that rhythm after he came back, and then dealt with the injuries. And now he's dealing with supposedly another injury, although it's an odd thing because it's like it's knee soreness, but he's the only guy who's not there on the bench. It was even reported afterwards the team had to say he had an excused absence from the building. So it's not like one of these things where like a guy is too sore to be on the bench. They're saying he had an absence to not be with the team. That's kind of a weird thing. The other thing is like they elongated this absence 3 games to know that his knee is going to be sore, and then they'll evaluate it. So you'll evaluate it on Sunday and see if he'll be good to go for the Nuggets game. Like it was a weird thing to come out, and basically it does put time between them figuring out the trade deadline if they're going to trade him, and he doesn't have to answer any questions about rumors and fodder. Jimmy Butler has to, and props to Jimmy for, I think, handling it as good as a friend can, right? Like, he's a good friend, and you don't want to throw your friends under the bus, and I don't think he wants to. I do think that he wanted to play with Kyle. He was very excited about playing with Kyle Lowry last year. I just think that a lot of this just has to do with the idea that your two young guys, I think, outgrew the vet point guard. I remember reading some Kyle Lowry quotes, or maybe I even heard it on the Zoom here, where he was saying the time for Fred VanVleet to take over and the young guys in Toronto, the time just came. And I think for him, he looked for another opportunity where he thought he could be that veteran leader again. I just think that it probably happened a lot faster than he thought it would happen down here. And you add on top of that, okay, the first year wasn't personally great for him because he had a lot of stuff going on. You come into this year too, and you think, all right, this is going to be the year, more comfortable now. I know everybody worked out with Bam in the summer, and it just doesn't get into that flow. Tyler Hero's in the starting lineup. It's not exactly a basketball fit. I just think that it all is coming to a head, and I don't know. I don't know if this is going to get to a spot where he gets traded or not. I don't know what Jimmy's doing there. I don't know if he's just messing around. I think that he is. I think he genuinely doesn't know, and I think I'd be surprised if Jimmy Butler actually went to the Heat and told him, don't trade Kyle Lowry. I don't think he would do that. Jimmy is, contrary to popular belief, Jimmy has had a lot of guys he's very fond of, even in his short time with the Miami Heat, that he has said he's wanted around forever and they didn't keep. He loved PJ Tucker. He loved Jay Crowder. He loved Goran Dragic. They all got traded. And you want to know something? He had other guys on the team that he was very fond of. Again, people probably don't know this because Jimmy Butler is thought about as the bad guy, but he gets along pretty swimmingly with a lot of teammates. And yeah, Kyle is maybe a little bit closer because, as Ira says, he's the godfather to Jimmy's daughter. That's some real personal level stuff right there. But I think Jimmy's also aware of things having a basketball fit and things and wanting to be yourself. That's a big thing that he knows and was searching for before he got to Miami. And I think that if he sees that Kyle's not that thrilled being here, then he would be fine if he moved on to another place. But I don't know. You see all these moves that are going out. Mike Conley got moved today. D'Angelo Russell, who was always tied to that move, he got moved to the Lakers today. Russell Westbrook going to end up getting bought out, so he may go to a team. So I don't know what the market's going to be out there for Kyle Lowry, who's owed $30 million this year. I don't know. I don't know what the temperature is going to be over the next couple of days, but over the next couple of hours, excuse me. But if it doesn't happen, I do think the Heat are going to have to figure out, how do we go about life with Kyle Lowry as our point guard? How do we make it more comfortable so that it's not felt as this big dark cloud over the team right now? And it's not like this uncomfortable thing. I don't think it's there yet. I don't think that for the players, I don't think they're uncomfortable. I think part of that's probably been because the NBA has gotten so used to guys being out, guys dealing with their own stuff. These guys are all black belts in that stuff. They just have an expertise in dealing with distractions and in and out of the lineup and injuries and all of that stuff. So I don't think that's going to affect that too much. But yeah, the hard coaching decisions, the front office decisions, all of that, what a guy's value may be in the offseason is very much lingering. So it's going to be we'll see what this conclusion to this interesting twist is.